This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Hing.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
You're listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
Hi, how are you out there, my friends? It's nice to see you all over the world, night or day, wherever you are, what time ever it is. Podcast or live, I'm glad you're here. This is May 14th, 2013. Topic today, the secret to happiness. It's about what a woman learned from her bad boy brother when he began chatting with her from the other side of life. I'm going to give you a phone number first because you can chat with me live on air. And as you know, I like to look into people and at people, and I like to find out what you're thinking, feeling. I'm a medium. I talk to the dead. I talk to the living. I help you with your love life, career life, people. Send good energy. Try and help things to go in a better way for you. What don't I do? I try it all. I'm not shy about trying things, am I? So here's the number, and this is all countries, 1-877-230-3062. Again, 1-877-230-3062. Here's a little trick, because I know the lines are always pretty full. As soon as somebody hangs up after I've been talking to them, start dialing real fast. Okay, so that's the number, and I do phone readings. I do a lot of phone readings. Oh, my goodness. I've been doing this for how many years? 35, 40. I'm not even sure how long I've been doing this work. 10 years on the radio. Many, many more years on the phone or Skype. Here's a testimonial, just a small one. Whenever there is trouble, this woman says, whenever there is trouble in my love life, I always call you, Venus. You are the very best at telling me what someone else is thinking and why. You have saved my emotional life many times. Now, instead of crying and wondering about some guy and why he's acting the way he is, I just call you and find out. Simple. Love, Karen. So if you want to find out more about me, the readings, how to reach me, what I do, here's my website, godisAlwayshappy.com. godisAlwayshappy.com. Just look for readings. So let's get to the topic here. May 14th, 2013, the secret to happiness. All right, so it's what a woman learned from her bad boy brother when he began chatting with her from the other side of life. I found this little article by the lady who wrote the book, Dr. Anne Kagan, Kagan, Anne, A-N-N-E. And the name of her book is The Afterlife of Billy Fingers, How My Bad Boy Brother Proved to Me There's Life After Death. She also goes by the name Annie. Well, from what I can remember of the story, Annie's bad boy brother was into drugs and all kinds of things. He wasn't living a very fruitful life, we might think, if we just looked at it, but who knows? How do we know what kind of life somebody's really living or why? But he was considered the black sheep. And I can't remember how he died, but he died young. So here's a little excerpt from something she wrote. She says, when I sold my chiropractic practice in New York City and moved to a small, secluded house by the bay, I thought that would make me happy. But guess what? Although I left behind the stress of being a doctor and focused on my lifelong passion, writing music, happiness continued to elude me. The tiny voice of discontent whispered to me, now what? So when the most enlightened soul I knew spoke to me about the secret to happiness, I listened. Pay attention to what you like. Pay attention to what you like, my brother on the other side said. During the 10 months since Billy had died, he'd proved to me that he understood life on earth well beyond what he knew when he was alive. When Billy first started talking to me a few weeks after his death, I wondered if I was having some kind of grief-induced delusion. But as Billy's appearances continued, I began to look forward to being enveloped by the serenity of his world. The only problem is that when he's finished talking, I'm still here on Earth, and it isn't easy. Billy is radiating with bliss all the time, but I'm not. So I asked Billy for the secret to happiness. He said, pleasure can increase your joy. People spend lots of time on things that make them unhappy. To cultivate joy, pay attention to what you like. I began trying out Billy's recipe for happiness, his sister says. The things I liked weren't necessarily big. I lingered over my morning cup of oolong tea, enjoying his warmth in my hand. I bought a bouquet of calla lilies when I passed a flower shop. I played John Coltrane while making lunch. I sang to myself while standing in line in a store and focused on what I liked most about people's faces. So what gives you pleasure? She says, start with a half hour a day, and for that time, focus on what you like. Don't push away what you don't like, but focus on what you do like. Close your eyes and listen to music that you love. Notice the sweet smoothness of your favorite chocolate. Luxuriate in the scent of lemons. Linger on the colors in your environment that please you. Take a walk and let nature regenerate you. Trying to be happy is like trying to hold on to running water. You can't grasp happiness. However, as you pay attention to what you like, it just may show up. For me, she said, paying attention to what I like has become a spiritual practice. The salty wind against my skin, the voices of seagulls, the taste of coffee, French perfume, scarlet anemones, the purring of my cats. By following Billy's advice, I became happier pretty quickly. It turns out that my world is filled with things that give me pleasure. I just wasn't paying attention. While I've been reading this to you, this is Venus again, I was thinking, what makes me happy? I like to paint. I like to paint what I consider beautiful things. I like to have these beautiful colors and line. I go blank and let it just come through me from the other side or wherever it comes through. And I like the feeling that comes out in the paintings. I like to have actually my own art around me. I have a lot around my house, and my sisters are really good about it. They have museums of my art, and a lot of you have my art too. I like it because I put good feeling into it, so you always have good feeling around you. I just don't understand people who have art in their house that doesn't make them feel good. I mean, there's a lot of art out there. Have you noticed that you feel kind of icky when you look at it, or you get nothing? Why? Why would you put it on your walls? Only put things on your walls that radiate happiness, joy, peace, whatever it might be. And the same with the rest of your house. Just have things that make you feel good. I can't stand ugly myself. Ooh, it just makes me feel yucky. Anything, a color or anything that's ugly, it can even make me nauseous. When I was in college, I remember this lady who sat a chair up from me on the opposite side of the row. She always wore these shoes to school every day, the same color. They were sort of a light cream color with black and brown sprayed on them somehow, and they made me nauseous. I'm not kidding you. I had to look at those shoes every single day for a semester, and they turned my stomach. Something about the colors. So I just get everything out of my house and my yard and every place that I think is ugly. And if I'm painting a picture and a color comes out that's bad, boy, I get rid of it. It might be something like that around you that's bothering you. Maybe you don't even know it. And if you look around, maybe you have things around you or things you think about that make you feel good. If it's something you can carry around with you, carry it around with you. I love flowers. I carry them from room to room. I love my cats. I'll often haul them around with me when they'll let me. I also like money. People have always said, money can't bring you happiness. Money's the root of all evil. I've never felt like that. I think money is beautiful. And at one time in my life, I was wealthy. I made a lot of money. I had a lot of money. I had a ton of money. And let me tell you, people would say, well, money can't bring you happiness. Well, it did me. I still like it. It makes life easier. Money in and of itself is nothing. It's just a medium of exchange. Money means nothing to me, really. I don't dwell on it. I'm just friendly with money. I like it. It likes me. I rarely worry about it. I feel it's a good, healthy thing. It's like a good, healthy person, you know. It's nice to have good, healthy, happy people in your life, too. Same with money. You know, I know a lot of people who work at jobs they really hate. And I've had a few of those myself. Oh, let me tell you. Back in my far past, where I loathe them. You know the kind where you watch the clock as it moves around. Oh my gosh, it goes so slow. I used to be, for a few short weeks at Christmas, a sales lady at the May Company. Remember the May Company? I was in the cosmetics department. And I was, maybe 20 or less. And all the people that worked in there were in the cosmetics department were old ladies at the time. They always had old ladies with white or blue hair and smocks and big rouge marks on their cheeks. And I really loathed that job. The old ladies didn't like me. They thought I was there to take their job. Ho, ho, ho! Not a chance. I didn't even have a stool for you to sit on. You had to stand up all the time. It would be late at night. I was exhausted from school. I hated it. I've had a few like that. Another one where I sat in the garage when I was 15 and counted rocks. Yes, I did. I counted rocks. There were gemstones and things in those rocks, and there were other people counting them with me. What a boring job. 8 hours a day counting rocks? Give me a break. But anyway, there are people that live their whole lives like this because they think they have to, and they look forward to when they can retire or get the pension or Social Security or, you know, whatever it might be. And don't you know by now, a lot of times that doesn't happen. So many people I know have waited all their lives, hated their work, loathed it, waited for retirement. Don't you know they die the day they retire or shortly thereafter? It happens all the time. And then they miss the whole damn life. They waited all their lives for this wonderful life and they missed it. They were done, gone, out of here, bye. Or they got disabled or sick. You know, as you get older and older, it gets harder and harder to enjoy yourself or do the things you want to do now while you're waiting for money or whatever. I was talking to a friend of mine just recently, today, and she's in her 80s and her husband's close to 90, and she just emailed me, and he'd gotten really sick in the night, and he fell on the way to the bathroom, and she fell with him and had to get up, and she's just his caregiver, and her life is shot, you know, and it's just like this every day. And I just said, you know, sometimes I think like getting older is like falling down a mouse hole. There's a lot of mouse poop at the bottom and not much cheese. So I would say don't wait. If you want to be happy now. Do whatever it takes to be happy now. That's something I've learned a long time ago, thank goodness, about work. Look at whatever area in your life. Where are you unhappy? Where is it not working? Is it your relationship, your love life, your family? You know, it could be anything. Well, what can you do? Don't put it off. You know, life is short. Bam, it can be gone just like that. You never know. Something to think about. You know, and if you want to tell me what makes you happy, I'd like to know. You can email me and I could maybe read it here on the radio and give us some good ideas, because not everybody can think of something that makes them happy, right? All right, here's something that can make you happy. I've got a few little things to read you here. You know how I like to read these things about weird ways that people die? I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. Well, we're all going to die. We might as well enjoy ourselves when we do it, right? Although I wouldn't say this is happening. This was fun, but I got this out of the paper this morning under curtain calls. Here we go. Having been wrapped in linen bandages soaked in brandy as a purported remedy for his frail and ailing body, the French nobleman Charles II of Navarre, born 1332, died 1387, 55? Not very old, was killed when a servant accidentally set him on fire while trying to burn off a loose thread off all those bandages. Wow, what a way to go, my God. He was all wrapped in bandages soaked in brandy. He was just like a candle that got lit. Whoop! He went up in flames. Can you imagine? I mean, that's terrible, I know, but for some reason I just found it interesting. And here's another one. I may have read this to you before. It seems familiar, but I still enjoyed it. another under curtain call, Sigrid Eysteinsson, also known as Sigrid the Mighty, ruled a Viking empire between 875 and 892. During his reign, he went to war against another leader named Maelbrigit. Eysteinstein killed Brigit, severed his head, and strapped it to his saddle as a trophy. Reportedly, Brigit's teeth grazed against Sigurd's leg, creating a wound that became seriously infected and ultimately killed Sigurd the Mighty. Be careful. Be careful with your dead friend's teeth. Do not get them close to your legs. All right, well, you know what? Maybe that's enough of that. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a short break? I'm going to come back, talk about a few other things, and I'm going to take some calls, and by golly, maybe somebody out there has got something really interesting happening that'll make you feel better about your own life. This is Venus Andrecht with the Dear Venus Show.
Do you love and benefit from the good energy mojos that Venus has on her website? Do you sometimes feel it when she tosses mojos to you on her radio show? If so, you will extra like her paintings and wall switches, because as Venus paints, she fills her work with powerful, good energy mojos. Venus says, when you have these on your walls, your home or workplace is always filled with good mojo to help things in your life go better for you. When you purchase this very popular art from Venus, she also puts a personal mojo in the piece just for you. You can see and purchase all this great energy art on artmojos.com. That's artmojos.com. Intentionally bring more power of the universe into your life. Many people say that Venus's paintings are always working for them. Let them work for you too.
Some people tell me they listen to my archive radio shows at night because I put them to sleep. When I complain, they say, "Oh, it's the sound of your voice, Venus. I love it because it relaxes me." Well, okay, that's good then. You can find all my archive shows on iTunes, Pinterest, and YouTube. To find my live and other archive shows, please go to my website, godisalwayshappy.com, and look under radio on my site. That's godisalwayshappy.com. And sleep tight. Don't let those bed bugs bite.
Are you ready to stop suffering over men? Are you seriously ready to be happy? Are you ready to have a great love life? Venus finally found the answers for an emotionally happy love life. She wrote the 5-star book about how you, too, can change your life with certain men, or even certain women. In it, you'll read the horrifying and funny true stories of Venus's former love life, and the true tales of many of her friends and clients, and how they all finally escaped the crying, whining, moaning, emotional trap to find real love and happiness. The ebook is titled Certain Men, How to Unlove Them, Unneed Them, and Replace Them with a Good Guy. It works with certain women, too. People say this book has saved their lives. You can read the first chapter on Venus's website, godisalwayshappy.com. You can find Certain Men as an inexpensive ebook at all the online bookstores. Certain Men. Are you ready to give them the boot? Are you ready for good love? Certain Men, the ebook by Venus Andrecht, now available at all online bookstores. Want to win a phone reading with Venus? Venus announces a new winner's name every Tuesday on her Dear Venus show. It's easy to get in the possible winner's pot. Go to her website and look for the blue headphones. Click on them, and you'll get a free MP3 mojo from Venus called No Matter What Happens, Everything Is Always Okay. People say Venus's mojos bring many good results into their lives. Clicking on the blue headphones puts you on Venus's latest mailing list, where she draws the names for free readings. If you have never clicked on the blue headphones, you're not on the current list. Venus's website is godisalwayshappy.com. That's godisalwayshappy.com. And while you're there, look for more MP3 mojos that you can purchase for a nominal price. You'll be surprised at the happy results they may bring into your life.
You're listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
Hi, welcome back. During the break, Barb, the producer, and I were talking, and she said, you must have had some really interesting jobs when you were a kid living out in the country. And I said, well, yeah. And I started to tell her one. I said, you know what? Maybe I should tell you guys. She thought it was a good idea. So I'm going to tell you about something I had when I was a kid. But first of all, I want to mention my next radio show. Every Tuesday we have a live show here, 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern. Next show, May 21st, 2013. Topic is, why hasn't my life changed? Why, sometimes you may think a reading hasn't helped you. And you may be right, and you may be wrong about that. I'll be answering clients' questions about readings, good energy, and outcomes. Because I read you lots of good things that people write me about the work I do, but this is the other side of the equation when maybe you think you didn't get help so much. Truth in advertising, you know. We're going to talk about that side of it. So be sure and tune in so you can hear me talk bad about myself. And good too, you know. I have another blog, of course, coming out. I have one every week so far. I'm holding it up. Every week it comes out every Thursday if you're signed up for it. The next one's May 16th, 2013. I haven't named it yet, but of course, I think it's interesting, pretty funny. Please email your friends. If you like my blogs, please email your friends, because that keeps me writing, you know, and I like to have people start with a laugh at the start of the day. This is called My True Life. About, you know, last blog was about my mother's friend, 90-year-old Martha. I've had lots of comments come to be about her. I'll give you a hint about the one that's coming up. This is about my 85-year-old lady friend. It's about old ladies lately, I guess. She kills rattlesnakes, skins them, and salts them. Yeah, I'm going to tell you all about her. So make sure you sign up for my blog. Oh, how do you do that? Well, you go to godisalwayshhappy.com/blog. That'll take you to my blog. Any article, look around. I think it says RSS feed. Sign up there. Then they'll come to you every week. Every Thursday you'll get them. All right, let me just do this. Let me tell you the story, and then we'll get to your calls. All right, when I was a kid, one of the things I did out in the country, I'm the oldest of 6 kids. Not much to do out there. We're too far away. We had to make our own businesses. I like to dig swimming pools. Now, I didn't do it for money. I did it on my folks' property. We had 14 acres. And let me tell you, I dug huge swimming pools. I must have been 10, 11, 12, something like that. And I was brown as a little nut, you know, because I'd get out there in just my little top and underpants, or just my underpants, and I'd start digging. And I dug them the size of swimming pools, and I dug them deep. And every time I dig a swimming pool, my father would talk to Mrs. Pratt, who was a lady who helped clean my mom's house, and he'd have her dump all the trash out there. So he'd end up getting my pools full of trash, and then they'd cover them over. And I don't like that, but, you know, I like digging swimming pools. So one time I got even, not on purpose, but it happened. I dug a swimming pool. I dug it straight down like a well, and it was round, and it wasn't that huge, but, you know, maybe 3 or 4 people could get in it. And then I filled it up with water all the way to the top. It was really muddy, ugly water, and I remember how muddy it looked and how brown, and it was all frothy on top. And then we kids would get out there in the summer, and we'd fill it up, and then we'd jump into the hole. What fun was that? The water would go up your nose and everywhere else, and get soaking wet and covered with mud. Well, then one day my father decided it looked like fun. We made it look like so much fun. So he came trotting out, and he jumped in. He enjoyed himself jumping in and out. Again, what we found in it, I don't know. I guess we were desperate for some form of recreation. Well, what happened next was this. From that muddy water, my folks used to raise turkeys. They had a bunch of turkeys, big turkey ranch. And one year all the turkeys died. They had some nameless disease, and they buried all the turkeys on the property. Well, obviously there was probably some kind of staph in the mud and the water. I got a horrible boil on my knee. They'd take me to the doctor and have it lanced. I remember screaming bloody murder after the doctor said, no, they weren't going to lance it, and then they did. Boom! Well, guess what? My father got 2 boils from that pool. You won't believe it, but he got one up his butt and he got one up inside his nose, both very dangerous. But can you imagine what it felt like when he had to get those lanced? Think about it for a minute. So that's how I got even with my father for filling up all my swimming pools. Didn't mean to. It was an accident, and I suffered too, of course. All right, enough of that. Yes, but have fun at what you do. That's the point. Enjoy your work. I certainly enjoyed mine. Let's go to the phones here. Let's start with Cindy in Calgary, Canada. Hello, Cindy.
Hi, Venus.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Well, how are you doing? What's going on? What are we going to look at?
I'd like you to help my brother if you can.
All right. Tell us the story.
Okay, well, he's married to a woman, and he's been in an abusive relationship. He got married to this woman when he was about 25, 26.
Uh-huh.
And she's just evil. Like, she beats him.
She beats him?
Yes. And she's cut him off from our family storybook, the way abuse starts, kind of cutting you off from everybody. Mm. And I don't think she's going anywhere. She's got it pretty good. So I just want to know if you see any kind of why she does it and what's happened in her life that's made her be this way. And if you see any relief for my brother, like, I don't know, maybe she'll get a disease or something and pass away.
Gee, Merry Christmas. Oh, gee.
I mean, she's
Cindy.
Oh, she's really evil, Venus. You got to know. Like, she gives me the EBGBs. I think a lot of people are scared of her, like, just her vibes that she gives out. Like, she's just...
Oh, okay. How long has your brother been with her?
Well, he's 53. I think he'll be 53 in December.
Uh-huh.
Well, he got married when he was 25. So that's a long time.
Okay,
yeah.
What's her first name? How old is she? What does she do for a living besides beat your brother?
She doesn't work. She's worked odd jobs, Right now, she stays at home, and her first two letters of her name are A-Z.
A-Z?
Yeah, A and then Victor. But kind of like, I don't want to give you the full name, but it's just A-V together, and then there's another letter.
Okay.
Kind of.
We'll keep it a secret. Okay, do they have kids?
Yes, 3.
Can you give me your brother's name?
Darcy. It's like Darcy, but we call him Darcy.
And what kind of work does he do?
He works in a mill.
Okay. All right, Cindy, how old are you? Color of hair?
I'm 43. I have dark hair.
Okay. Let's go. I'm going to go right through Cindy. I'm just whipping through your head, Cindy, taking you with me. Cindy. Whoop. All right, let's go find Darcy, your brother, who works in the mill. Hello. I'm a friend of your sister's. I've just come to talk to you and talk to your wife and check things out, if that's okay. Is that okay with you? He looks kind of puzzled. Well, what the hell, whatever. Okay, I'll just put you aside for a moment if you don't mind. Let me go find this AV woman. Mm-hmm. What color is her hair?
I think it's kind of grayish now, but it used to be dark brown.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
All right.
I haven't been here for a while.
All right. Let me just check here. I have to keep talking because I'm on the radio. Okay, where are you? I'm looking for you. Okay, well, she's very angry. She's showing me her teeth.
Oh.
I see teeth like 2 fangs on one on each side, like she'd like to take a bite out of us.
Oh.
Me too. Okay.
See what I told you?
Yeah. Oh, this is fun. All right. So what are you so angry about? Life hasn't given her a good shake or a fair shake. She's not happy with your brother. She's not happy with him. He hasn't lived up to her expectations. She would have preferred, and she thought he was going to have a better job than he does. She wanted him to rise higher in the world socially, and she just called him a bad name, which I can't say on the radio.
Okay. Why doesn't she do something?
Well, what she's telling me is she married him with the idea in her own mind, I don't know if it was in his too, but in her own mind, that she was hitching her wagon to a star. You've heard that saying? Okay. And she thought she would go places socially with him and have plenty of money and a life of leisure. And she doesn't feel that she has a life of leisure. She feels like she has to work too hard, I guess at home. She shows me a picture of herself with one of these rags tied around her head and a dust cloth in her hand, like, I'm just a slave. I have to live this kind of life, and I'm not in society, and yada, yada, yada. You may not know this about her, or you may know, but this is what she's showing me. And so she's disappointed in him. And so why do you beat him? I hear you beat him. She's just so pissed off. She beats him to just get the anger out, and she wants to kick him, and she probably does kick him too. And it's like she used to think by doing that she would spur him onward and upwards into what he could be and should be. She's one of the many, many women who sees the good in a guy and sees what they can be, and then is universally disappointed to find out they never reach it.
Okay, but well, she doesn't want to move from that town. She never wants to go on vacation. She never wants to have fun. I mean, they have money to spare. They can go on vacation. She's never gone on vacation. It's her. She just is. Yeah, I know. But this is how she's feeling. This is what she's expressing to me. And now she's given up that he's ever going to go anywhere or be anything or be her Prince Charming or whatever. Now I'm asking her, so I hear you don't go on vacations or spend your money. Why not? Why don't you do something fun? Because she's locked in. She's like boarded inside. She's like a little horse or a wild horse that's in a very small corral and can't move around. I don't know. She doesn't know how to get out. I'd say she's mentally ill. Yeah, she is, isn't she?
Well, yeah, to put a name on it. Yeah, because there's no reason, there's no logical reason here. There's just the stuff I'm telling you. Another woman might say, well, I'm not happy here. We have some money. Let's get a divorce and we'll split it and I'll make my own life. Or I'll stay with the boob, but I'll take the money and go traveling. I'll do what I want, live my own life, and buy myself some furs and jewels. But she doesn't. She's locked in. She's mentally ill. What can you do? If someone, the problem with someone who's mentally ill, I always think, personally, mental illness is like a physical illness, a chemical imbalance. There's a problem that causes this. Not that they're innately mean or rotten. Some people are, but most often something is causing this to happen.
But don't you get the EBGBs just being inside her? Doesn't she seem kind of mean to you? Like, well, I can't even look into her eyes.
Yeah, she is. She is all that. And she's a horse caught in a real small area, and she doesn't think straight. She's mentally ill. Yeah, you can say that. She gives you the heebie-jeebies. I wouldn't want to be in there. I wouldn't want to be hanging out with her. Let me go to your brother now. Okay, brother, why do you stay? Well, he stays for the kids, he says. He stays for the kids. Any other reason? You stay. Well, he has plans. He's always had plans that when the kids got older, when things changed, when that changed, he would leave. But he's so beaten down now, he doesn't know how. He's like a woman who's abused and doesn't know how to get away. And people always say, well, why didn't you just leave? They say to people who are abused. Yeah. Well, you just get used to it and you can't. It's like he's tied by a long scarf around his ankle to a post.
I mean, the kids are adults, for heaven's sakes.
Well, I know that. That's why I said that he thought that when they got older, he would leave. But he can't because he's so hooked into this. Cindy, the best thing you could do for him is to talk him into getting some counseling so he can see what's really going on and how he could leave and how he has other options. She's not going to change.
No, she won't change in 25 years. But do you see, you don't have to tell me like the details, but do you see her bugging off somewhere, like dying, to put it kindly? Do you see it coming to the end soon?
Well, you know what? I never asked the beings to show me those kinds of things. I'll just see what I see when I look around. I'm looking around. I see her as growing older, actually, and living by herself, locked up in her house, choosing not to go out, imprisoning herself even farther.
By herself? Like, by herself? What does that mean?
Living by herself, with bad teeth.
You mean like she'll leave him then? Maybe she will leave him?
It's more like she's just there, maybe in the same place. She's somewhere, and he makes his escape. The hope here is for him to make his escape. Really, stop thinking about her. You've got to help your brother.
We've
tried. Go to counseling.
Yes, we've tried. It's just she holds that, oh, what about your kids? Well, geez, they're not even kids, and I'm sure they see all that, and that's not healthy for them either.
Well, then you know what? You're just going to have to let it go.
Yeah.
If he won't listen to his kids, if he won't listen to you, if he doesn't listen to anybody, short of kidnapping him and taking him off for a month someplace so he can get his mind back, there's not much you can do. But that's not a bad idea, actually. If you could get him away so he could think his own thoughts for about a month, you might get somewhere.
Can you tell me what happened in her life that made her like this? Like, did she see abuse in her home, or?
Well, I'll look at that real fast, then I'm going to have to go because, you know,
okay. Yeah.
I got a lot of people waiting here.
Okay.
Let's see. Can you tell me everything about her past life? She had things that happened that set her off, but she's got some kind of chemical imbalance here. I think it runs in the family. I think you find other people in the family who have this or have had it.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to look back, you would see that.
Like, is it bipolar, or is it schizophrenia, or what is it?
I don't know what you'd call it. She's just not mentally well.
Yeah,
okay.
I knew that.
Yeah, but I don't have a name for it. I just don't have a name for it. But she's locked up inside herself, and her own mind is whipping her. She makes herself as miserable as she makes other people. Okay, I gotta go. It's break time, Cindy. Wish I could do more, but, you know, see if you can get your brother off on vacation with you. Kidnap him, all right?
Okay, thank you, Venus.
All right, darling. Thanks for the call. Bye. Wow. No, that's not something you can really get tied up and done in, what, did we use 10 minutes there, something like that? There's a lot more layers there, but that's the bare bones of it, and that's all I could do on the radio. I hope that the brother can get away so he can think his own thoughts for a while. I know when I was married to the very bad man, I used to have to travel, and that was the best thing that could happen. When I go away for a couple of weeks or whatever, I get my mind back. I'd know what was going on and what was happening. I'd make all these plans to get out of the thing. I'd come back and I'd fall right back into it. But at least when I was out, I had my right mind again. Somebody could have helped me then, snatched me farther out and said, look, this is what we're going to do. But anyway, all right, let's take a short break. I'll be right back and see what else you're up to. Venus Andrecht with the Dear Venus Show.
Attention business owners and entrepreneurs. Are you looking for help with your online marketing? Or do you need a beautifully designed custom website that you can edit yourself at an affordable price? Contact Heather at StudioThirdEye.com. She will make it happen for you online, from website design, branding, social media, to getting found on the internet. You can reach Heather at StudioThirdEye.com. Heather's professional and fair and has many happy clients from small and mid-sized businesses. Find her at StudioThirdEye.com. That's Studio, ThirdEye.com. Or you can email intuitiveinternet@gmail.com and tell her what you need to accomplish. Heather will make it easy for you.
Hi, I'm Venus's daughter, Summer McStravick. And as they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. That's why I think you might enjoy my podcast, Flow Dreaming. It airs live on Tuesday, right before Venus's show. Or you can find it on iTunes or at my website, flowdreaming.com. I work with energy and I look in people's lives just like Venus, except I call what I do flow dreaming, and I teach other people to manifest and create in their lives using this flow energy too. So I hope you'll check out my podcast, Flow Dreaming, on iTunes, CTR, or at flowdreaming.com.
Venus thinks the world needs cheering up. Let me tell you, her blog certainly does that. Every week it's a true story about her life and the people in it. Here are a few comments. Oh, thank you. I am laughing so hard. Every Wednesday it's great to start my day like this. And love, love, love to read your blogs. You always make my day. I have emailed your blogs on to many people this year. And Your blogs are profound, prophetic, and wise. They make me laugh and cry and everything in between. And, okay, Venus, I almost spewed coffee out of my nose reading this one. Too funny. By the way, her family subscribes to her blog for their own protection. You can subscribe too. Just look for the orange-colored feed at the top of the blog. You can find the latest and often harrowing adventures in Venus's life at godisalwayshappy.com/blog. That's godisalwayshappy.com/blog.
You're listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
Hi there, welcome back. All right, let me see before we get back to the callers. I'm going to tell you a mojo story. You know about my mojos. I throw them during this show. In fact, I better throw them pretty soon. And I have a lot of mojos on my site for sale for a nominal price, but you can find a free one there too. If you go to my website, godisalwayshappy.com, look for the blue headphones, click somewhere around there, you get a free MP3 mojo you can play over and over. And you also get on my current mailing list, the one that I choose winners from for all kinds of things. So anyway, Emily sent me this. Hi, Venus, it's me, Emily, the one that would listen to your podcast and fall asleep on the train. I just wanted to tell you that your lucky you mojo and the I Am So Brilliant mojos worked, your MP3s. As you know, I am living in Belgium. Back in 1997, my uncle got a Jack Russell dog for my grandma, which I would take care of as she raised me. When I left in 2002, Grandma kept taking care of the animal. For the past couple of weeks, the dog has been having accidents inside the house, and my grandma is having trouble cleaning up after him, even though he gets to go out nearly every hour. My grandma wanted the dog to be in a home that she could see him every weekend, but her children want to put the dog down, as such a place does not exist for an elderly dog, and then they want to lie to Grandma and say he's in a nice home when he's really dead. But then the problem is she won't get to see him. Yesterday I was so upset as they wanted to put him to sleep after 15 years of having him. I spoke to them on the phone saying I will find a solution or a carer for the dog or something. Then I remembered your mojos and decided why not. So I got your two mojos, and I pictured my dog happy and healthy like he used to be. Just now I got a phone call from my mother after talking to the shelters. The lady there at the shelter said he is spoiled, he is lucky, and they told her to let the dog live his life out. He probably has a few months left. So then my mother said, we changed our minds. Yippee! I am so happy that my dog can spend his few months with my grandma. Yay! Thanks, Venus, for everything you do for us. Much love, always, Emily. And I emailed her back, and I thanked her very much for using my mojos, and I was sure they probably helped, but I believed what really did it was her big loving heart that brought this about. She did everything she could to save that dog. For mojos, again, godisalwayshappy.com. Look for mojos. And my Juicy News, which is a newsletter I send out twice a month. I'm working on the next week's edition right now. I've got many comments off last week's story about autism and the lizards. That was really a weird story, but it makes a lot of sense. I decided that in the Juicy News, every time it comes out, twice a month, I'm going to choose a name from my current mailing list for a 10-minute free phone reading with me. So you'll have twice a month off the Juicy News, chance to win, and every live show I have, I choose a name from that same mailing list. So I figured up 6 or 7 times a month you'll have a chance to win a reading with me. And I don't care how many times you win. I just close my eyes and go eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and whatever comes up. All right, we've got a winner today. I'll tell you in a second. I just wanted to mention, remember the lady who won a free reading with me under odd circumstances? I mentioned it last week, I think. It was just very bizarre, and she said it even happened on her wedding anniversary. Well, I did a reading for her, I think it was last night. And yes, indeed, it was her dad who made it happen. He's dead. I figured somebody made it happen. And when I called him up, I saw him. He was so pleased with himself about doing this. He just was dancing all over. He was so pleased. He was really tickled. And I mentioned he was wearing a casual shirt tucked into his pants, always tucked into his pants. And she said, yeah, that's how he always wore his shirts. Personally, I know most men wear theirs out, so that was evidential. And he kept calling her honey. She said, yeah, he always called her honey. And then he called her baby. She says, yes, he called her baby. And went on like that. It was a really, I think, a good reading, very evidential, and Daddy worked hard to get it to happen. So maybe you've got somebody on the other side working for you to help you win a reading with me. Meanwhile, of course, I do a lot of phone readings where you can be on as little time or as long as you want, and we can really get into it. Maybe you're too shy to be on the radio. Here's a winner today for a 10-minute reading with me. The name is D.E. Carl, C-A-R-L-E, D. Carl. D, this is valid through May 20th, 2013. After that, null and void, you need to email me and tell me you heard your name. Whoa, let's get back to the calls here and see what's happening. Shinny in Canoga Park, California. Shinny, am I saying your name right?
Oh.
Hello?
Yeah, hi.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're fading in and out a bit.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Well, you're fading in and out. Where are you? Are you half on the other side and half here?
No, I'm actually was in the car. I got out. Maybe you can hear me better now.
Oh, well, that's good. So you're standing out in the middle of nowhere talking to all of us all over the world on the radio, right?
Yes.
Okay, honey, what are we going to look at for you?
Actually, I have a special friend that I haven't seen for like 4 months now, and we had something special, or I thought we had something special between us, and for some reasons that we're not in talking right now, circumstances, and I just want to know what he's thinking about me right now.
Okay, is this a boyfriend or just a regular friend?
No, it's not a boyfriend, but it's a gentleman who I cared a lot for this person, and I'm sure, I think he cares too. But for some reason that I don't want to talk about it in the radio. Haven't seen each other for some months now.
Okay, was there any hanky-panky?
No.
Okay, just platonic,
just emotional bond, maybe friendship.
Okay,
little more, whatever.
Is he married?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Can you give me his first name and what kind of work he does?
I have to change it a little bit.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Sure, go ahead. Work me harder.
I'll say Clay.
What?
Clay.
Clay, C-L-A-Y, like clay. Okay, what kind of work does he? What kind of work does he do?
Some.
You're gonna make that up too, right? Oh,
yeah.
Jeez. Shinny. All right, let me ask you this: does he live in Canoga Park, or is he in another state?
No, it's not another state, but within maybe 20-mile vicinity from where I am.
Okay, so let me get this straight. We don't know how old he is. We don't know what his name is. We don't know what he does, and we're not sure where he is.
He's about 5 years older than me.
Well, we don't know how old you are.
Okay, let's say he's like 48.
You're going to say like 48. Now, are you really? All right, Shinny, I'm going to do my best here. I'm going to go through you. Everybody out in Radio Land, you might want to try this with me. We have pretty much nothing to go on. I want to try this with me. We have pretty much nothing to go on. I want to try this with me. We have pretty much nothing to go on. I want to try this with me. We have pretty much nothing to go on. I want to try this with me. We have pretty much nothing to go on. I want to try this with me. We have pretty much